Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Daily Brief? Not. Brian went on 2 hours today. Solid, Brian. No, Sjord's off petting, I guess, farmyard animals with his family, living the dude ranch life for a week or so, which is kind of cool. I really respect that about him. Such a family guy. His kids are going to have such great memories growing up. Sjord was MIA today. No CTO report from TRI. On Mondays, we usually do that. And then we also have a fundamental analyst who is a site OG, and he's been off on vacation for a little while, but sometimes he pops on Jamie on Mondays, but he was not available today, so it was just the Brian, the Beamish. And of course, Brian never never for a lack of words, went on about everything under the sun. Probably not relevant to get into all that stuff here, but it was interesting. Like I said, it was about a 2-hour rant. I covered everything I could possibly think of, from geopolitics and G7 ramblings to trading cryptocurrencies and hunting W's, and the way that for some odd reason social media idiots were coming on and screaming bear right at basically the bottom and conning all you good people out of selling all your assets at the bottom. Was that on purpose? I actually think so. And actually, for whatever it's worth, he came out again today and said Bitcoin was going to zero, and I banned him because we don't need those kind of people on the channel. It's just a waste of time. And actually, I was in there on the buy side. I bought some crypto today. I was barking about crypto stocks last week. Oh my God, missed some killer trades. And I get the distinct impression that Coinbase, of course, had its big IPO. The market was going to have to take some time to digest all that offering. It was massive, massive amount of money. And it feels as though that digestion period has sort of played itself out. Usually we have a rule that IPOs, usually they bottom at about half of what they usually bring them to market. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that when you say that, people go, okay, exactly, what is the IPO price? All right, so cut that in half. Okay, there's my order working. Boom. Okay, where's my fill? And, of course, capitalism never works that way. I'm sure there was probably a lot of people that heard me say that, and they were just like, all right, well, we'll just put on our bid at half of whatever the IPO price is. The market started to work down into that level, and the market makers are like, holy shit, look at all those bids down there. Do we really want to give these people cheap stock down there? No. Let's fucking turn it around. We'll bottom it at like $10 above that level just to piss them off. That's capitalism. Wow, look at this BYFC go now, Kevin. Where did you get your fill here today? I don't know, Kevin. I don't know whether he's here. He probably took off.
Earlier this morning.
But up in this area here? So Kevin Rockstar banging out doubles. Look at that chart. So pretty. My next sell level's up here at the 50% level. So, hey, I might even get a fill there today. And, that's the market, right? I'm sorry, I kind of off topic. I was talking about the Coinbase IPO there, and I just happened to see that. But, I banged out a really, really nice win on a little biotech stock this morning. And, it's just what we do as traders. It's just our life. I spent a lot of time in that 2-hour rant with the good people this morning just trying to explain that, you know what? Put your opinions away. They don't mean anything. What we're really here to do is just rinse and repeat. When you see an asset trading at the bottom end of its range, there is easily a 70 to 80% chance that we have to at some point go back up and test the top end of the range. And that's exactly what just happened there. And, there I am, sold half on a triple. Yeah, that was a nice trade. Way to go. Don't think, Jesus, that guy yesterday on YouTube really picked me. I think this, I think that, you should do this, you should do that. Fuck that shit. Build your plan. Identify what the reasons are that get you to act in the marketplace. Take appropriate risk. If you got too much on the trade and it makes you act emotional, then you've got too much on the trade. Dial it down. Get the emotion out of this. You're running a business of trading here. We're going to buy low, sell high. If you can't handle the stress of just doing that, then maybe that means you just got too big of a trade on. You got to dial the size back to the point where you're not so stressed and you're just like, this is just business as usual. So fucking what? And then, of course, like I said, I've said repeatedly, when the market affords you the opportunity, you've worked your ass off. This is a tough business, folks. When the market affords you the opportunity, for fuck's sakes, pay yourself. All right, so rant. Brian paid himself today. Woohoo! I noticed Jamie's little. Actually, that's not that great. I did see, it's like case by case by case. There's fun little names that are starting to perk up here. You got to have the patience and discipline to force yourself to come in at the bottom ends of ranges and just start to accumulate. I mean, look at that cute little W there. Jesus, what a beautiful trade. I mean, it's just so cliche. This one kind of pissed me off because I sold everything. Look at that beautiful double bottom. I sold everything here. I tell you, sell half on a double. This is the kind of reason why you do that, because who knows where the hell this damn stock could go. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, where is this stock going to go? Could it easily head right back up into here? Sure. I mean, look at that bottom. So here's a great example where I was right. I forced myself to come in at the bottom end of range. When the market popped, I afforded myself the opportunity to pay myself, but I actually shot myself a little bit in the foot in that I exited the whole trade entirely. Did I have to? No. There was this maybe even a part of, well, Brian's going to inject his opinion. He's going to be a top caller, and ooh, look how cool he is. He's going to sell everything here. He's going to try and snipe his way back in on reloads on tags, and whoops. I tell you, man, there is a beauty in simplicity. Sell half on a double, forget about the rest. Every time the damn thing doubles, just keep selling half. And I'm not in this one anymore, but I'll tell you, I'm going to look back over the years. I bet you I'm going to be pretty damn pissed off that I let everything go right there. But it's cool to see, just one by one by one. Here's a cool one, a little mining stock. Look at that chart. We came in, of course, down at the bottom end of range. And I mean, look at that. It just broke to a new 52-week high here today. Did I know that was going to happen? I don't got a fucking clue what's going to happen here. Just, I don't know. Can you see the W's? This one, actually, I forced myself to come in. We run a very specific model on this site. It was taught to me by an old VSC floor broker. And this thing was a screaming fundamental buy, and I had to just force myself to step in and buy this. And it looks like somebody else did too. So obviously they know what they're doing. And hell, fuck, we're up almost, what's that, 50, 60% return? I'm almost on a double here. I'll be selling if it gets up into here. Did I know that this was going to happen? No, I just forced myself. My plan is I got to come in against good fundamental names. I got to force myself to come in and buy against the bottom end of ranges. Now, at this point, you're like, well, Brian, I don't see a W here. Could you come in and just wait for a W? Sure, if you want. It's no big deal. Remember, folks, too, I'm not here to tell you what to buy or sell. I'm just, actually, you know what the purpose of this video is? The real purpose of these videos is just to show off and gloat. How much money did Brian make today? I gotta tell you, I've been pretty damn fortunate, and I just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Don't overthink this shit. Look at that son of a bitch, 383. I might get a fill here. This will be my second double on the day before this video is done, and I'm not doing anything. Just let it do its thing. And the interesting thing is, technically this stock should be up here. There's lots and lots of justification for this to be up here. It's just doing actually what it's supposed to be doing. It's kind of funny, eh? Yeah. So it's almost weird how I went on a 2-hour rant there for the daily brief, kind of directionless, and it almost feels like I'm just picking up exactly where I left off. So I don't really want this to be a 2-hour blab. Let's see if we can try and get focused again here. Get back on page. I just want to see if there's anything else I gotta... Oh, I mean, this is a killer one. These are these damn SPACs. Man, they look good. I was able to sneak in on this one. Again, bottom end of the range. What letter of the alphabet? Bullish divergences. Fuck, how many times do I have to tell you people this shit? Anyway, point here is away she goes. But there was this one. This one's a really cool one. Because this put in an outside-upside key reversal. And we were looking at this. I think this is a SPAC. You can see the massive bullish engulfing bar. The question was going to be, look there, there's another bullish engulfing bar. And the question was going to be, how is this thing going to work? And how did they work it? They just violently gap it away from their bastards. So you want to throw in a bid there at like 50-51 and join me? Sure, it's not a bad idea. Lumo, I never did pull the trigger on this one, Kevin. Oh, jeez, I hope I don't live to regret that. Hopefully all of you can see the W's. They're there. Oh, yeah. My little M3 metals. Looks like they're getting ready to run him. Look at that beautiful chart. How many W's do you have to see? Ay, 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 ay. Maybe if I change this to a line chart, you'll see that. Do you see the W's? W. There's a little bit of an M. Head fake. W. More W's. Oh man, these base metal and mining stocks just look fantastic in here. Not really overly excited about gold, but things like copper. This is a copper play in Minnesota. Beautiful W. Look at that W. You can't get a more well-defined bottom. Perfect. Needless to say, I'm loaded up on that thing. So great, fantastic market, super fun. And actually, the interesting thing is brick and mortar, not so fun. This is I've went on repeatedly, and actually I do like this because coming out of the G7 meeting, actually, Kevin, do you see there's 3 people watching this video right now? So I wonder who those people are. Has anybody said hello here? Because it's so funny on this video. There's supposed to be nobody here, but every once in a while we get people that sneak into this video. But I do like the idea. Out of the G7 meeting this weekend, it was like a collective let's go shit on fucking Winnie the Pooh, which I thought was awesome. That's perfect. It's about fucking time. And I believe that Winnie the Pooh has a very big thumb in the Canadian real estate market. So much so that I think that this Canadian real estate market could actually turn into an absolute disaster for this country. And this chart right here is a testament to that. Because first and foremost, I mean, gee whiz, this stock has moved an awful long way. This is one of the big Canadian banks. And look at that. Mysteriously, somebody just disappeared from the YouTube video, Kevin. That's interesting. They must have heard me say that, and then they vanished. This is in Canada, there's chartered banks, right? And they've basically got a fucking, like, silver spoon in their mouth. Guaranteed profits. But they often get themselves into really hot water, over leveraging themselves. Like there was one bank, one of these chartered banks in Canada. They went down into Central and South America and were lending out tons of money to them. And they almost went bankrupt, not because of business of Canada. And keep in mind, these are charter banks that technically are almost like pseudo-government. And they got themselves into the biggest trouble investing in Central and South America. What is a pseudo-government chartered bank doing, taking Canadian citizens' money and deposits and squandering it down in Central and South America. They do this shit all the time, folks. Here, this is, in my opinion, I think the Canadian real estate market is ridiculous. I mean, it's just absolute over-the-top insanity. And I've been barking about this for years. And interestingly enough, it's actually exactly the same as the 2008 financial crisis down in the States, only now it's outside of the States, not inside the States. Canada, of course, is a commodity country, so through that cycle, that was a friendly commodity cycle, it did okay. In fact, there really wasn't a 2008 financial crisis in Canada. But I do believe that there is one happening in front of our faces. And this chart right here, I'm not, does the 50% level get hit? I don't know. Statistically, should it get hit? Yeah. That's a triple top, a head and shoulders top. That's an outside downside key reversal. Look at the momentum picture. It just looks like a train wreck. There's a lot of reasons to expect these Canadian bank stocks to get hit and get hit hard. I'll be curious to see. And what I do like is that the G7 at that meeting all collectively said it's time to fucking put the kibosh on Winnie here. Whether it be religious oppression, whether it be, brainwashing, concentration camps, whether it be squashing the freedoms of people in Hong Kong, whether it be actually intimidating neighbors who don't want to be a part of Winnie's party and are, basically being threatened that they're going to be invaded Taiwan. I think that the world collectively is like, okay, enough is enough. And I could see Fakazis, like the Canadian real estate market, completely unwind when China goes, fine, fuck you. And they just pull everything out of the market. I could see that easily. And the irony of it all is that actually this stock, look at this goddamn stock. This is ridiculous. I mean, is this fair to Canadian taxpayers? Because keep in mind that these companies derive most of their revenues out of fees that they charge Canadian citizens. So is it really fair to Canadian citizens that just since the year 2000, this stock has gone up more than, 20-fold? Is that fair to Canadian citizens? I mean, why not cut the fee? If life is so wonderful for these banks that their stocks can go up 20-fold, why not cut the fucking service fees that you charge Canadians? You're a goddamn chartered bank. You're part of the goddamn government. Why are you getting rich off of Canadians' fucking taxpayers, their lives? Oh boy. Here we go. Brian's ranting. Here we go. He's off. Anyway, I do believe that half of the time you guys love this on YouTube, so it's great. It's edutainment. It's, oh my God, listen to him go off again. There's Kevin. Kevin's laughing at me. So all of you out in the public, laugh at me too. And I've also said this too on the Daily Brief today. I said, there's a CCP Winnie the Pooh puppet sitting on one of these Chinese development buildings that probably nobody's going to live in. They're all going to be empty. And he's got a rifle there. And every once in a while, I feel the crosshairs come across my forehead because the laser pointer's got a little bit of a heat to it. But every time I feel that, I move my head really quickly, and you can see the bullets actually go zinging right by my head. So they don't really have very good aim. Probably their scopes that they put on their rifles, they're made in China. So they're garbage. And you try and fire a rifle with a Chinese-made scope, there's no way in fucking hell you're going to hit your target. So, good luck, buddy. You're probably going to waste thousands of bullets trying to hit me with that Chinese-made rifle. It's never going to hit me. So then they poison me. We'll take the Russian angle. We'll just inject some of his coffee with nuclear waste or something. All right, let's see who else I can piss off today. I don't think I've hit just about everybody. Also too, we also talked a little bit about the bank's agenda, right? The banks need this big stimulant. Oh, look at that! Now the viewers are up to 4, Kevin. Do you see that? So there's actually other people joining this call now.
Weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It does it. I guess it's Google and stuff. They're probably watching and monitoring me. Anyway, so we know that there's a big vote down in the United States of America to pass more stimulus measures and all that. And the problem with that is that if times are pretty good and market, you can see, obviously lots of write-ups here. But if times are good and stock markets are strong and people are feeling rich, then how the hell are you going to get the politicians to vote for more stimulus? You're not. It's just not going to happen. So what the banksters actually have to do to get this stimulus package passed, which is what they want, they have to inject a little bit of downside into the market here. I mean, you just look at this U.S. stock market. This is ridiculous. Does the U.S. economy really need any stimulus if this is the way business is going? No. For fuck's sake, somebody get their fucking head on straight here. This is stupid. So, I guess the way I look at it is the banksters want that big stimulus measure, right? They want all that free money. So could they engineer maybe a nice big fat red candle and really freak the shit out of the public? I did notice that the banks themselves, because keep in mind, it's the banks that are running the show here. Look how they're all coming off here. All right, so you can see that it's not really, like the tech stocks and all that are driving it down. It's the bankers, and they're probably even manipulating their own stocks to get this stock market to come down. And like I showed you, TD Bank, they are definitely part of this equation. We got to knock this market down so that vote, which is supposed to happen in basically about 2 weeks' time, they knock the shit out of this market, and then the politicians are like, oh, okay, we got to save the world. Maybe we'll pass this stimulus after all, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's almost a little sad how telegraphed this actually is. So anyway, I got a bunch of puts on this thing on the books. So am I talking my book to a certain degree? Yeah. But I don't mind. I mean, frankly speaking, these Canadian banks and the way that these institutions, they're not thinking about the actual citizens that they serve, and they're only interested in their own profit margins. And their shareholders. I don't mind if you're a public company and you're trading in the market. Fine, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is a chartered company. They actually have almost like a blank check from the government. They will never go out of business. Never. So is it fair for them to actually put shareholders' interest ahead of Canadian citizens? I don't think so. That's the problem that I have. All right, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck am I supposed to be talking about here today? Anyway, you can see I'm obviously interested. Hey, have you ever heard Brian talk about W's? I mean, this is a cryptocurrency. Hopefully you can see the goddamn W that's coming in here. Did Brian go and buy this today? Yes, he did. Why? Because I buy W's. It's what I do. And if anything, I hope that you respect that I'm an open book with you people. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I already told all of you. In fact, I was sitting in the bathroom just before I did this video, actually having a conversation with me, in my own head, because I spent 2 hours there going on about, Winnie the Pooh and all that shit. I don't actually really have a problem dying. I really don't. I get to go be with JoJo. I've been here 10 years. I haven't seen any reason. I haven't missed anything here since she's been gone. That would be like, oh, fuck, man. I would have totally missed out on that. So I don't even really mind dying for the cause that's on the table right now. This is a big cause, people. I mean, obviously, I'm sort of I'm older. My body's broken. I can't really go out on a battlefield with a rifle and really, stick it to Winnie. But, if there was causes of like raising war bonds and stuff like that, I'd be totally into that. But I honestly believe that there's some big issues on the table here. And I want to be seen as somebody who's trying to help, trying to like clear away the fog. You know, like why was there some idiot that comes on the YouTube channel there the other day? Now, of all times, nobody was coming out public service message up here going, be careful. This has got disaster written all over it. Nobody. In fact, I even said yesterday in the Broiler Chicken Show, I had to try and talk you people out of spending money up here. And I couldn't do it. There's people that are saying, you know, technical analysis is meaningless. Indicators pointless. You know how the story goes. Now, at this point here, we got cocksuckers coming in going, everything's going to zero. It's like, fuck off. So, I really hope, on balance, at the end of all of this, I really hope that I will come across as perceived as one of the good guys. One of the people who's trying to make a positive difference in the world. One of the good guys who's trying to tell you how important it is for you to have that freedom of speech. For you even to be able to have the freedom to say, I'd like to put some of my savings into Charlie Lee's story, and I'd like to participate in this capitalist process. Let's see what Charlie does with his cryptocurrency story. Keep in mind, if Winnie the Pooh takes over, you will not have that right. And if he happens to see that you're doing really well, he'll come along and he'll just take your assets from you, a la Jack Ma. I don't know what world you want to live in, but I don't want to live in that world. So let's fight for these rights here. And let's really stick it to fucking Winnie and the totalitarian dictators of this world. Broiler Chicken Show yesterday, we did map out with you guys this bullish bot setup that's working away on the corn. Again, that stupid idiot coming out saying Bitcoin's going to zero. And yeah, way to go, buddy. Nice call there. Sure, you got a lot of people to panic sell, which is exactly probably what he was paid to do. And a lot of those people are probably really regretting that decision now. Is this the kind of thing where I would want to come in at here at this location, especially off a lower time frame? No. If anything, the sad part about this particular trade is once we hit 66% of the move, we now have to start thinking about locking in profits. So you can start to see RSI studies are actually starting to M out now. So just as yesterday we were all like, hey, this is looking constructive. Nah, this is now looking a little destructive. Destructive? I think that's a word. So my hunch is if there's any kind of sign of failure through here, double top, that kind of stuff, probably best just to hop off. The very least, you should have your stop at scratch at this trade, and if it does come back down to this level, you just walk away. That's at the very worst. But as I showed you, gee whiz, there are some really good looking charts here. Really good looking. I'm not going to predict the future. What I'm just going to simply say is I've played this game long enough that my expectation is we probably should get something like a 50% bounce. And this is just pure statistics. So if I go and buy this W and I just want to look for that 50% roll, then I'm looking at like a 1.66 risk-reward ratio. I think for the purposes of this trade, I might dial it back a little bit and just simply say I'm going to risk against this tail. This is an empire. Boom, boom, boom. And then notice this is an empire here. Boom, boom, boom. So we have two very powerful hammer lows. So if I frame the risk on this trade based on this model, and I just simply say, look, if they lose these lows, it means that this candle body low was not significant. We're going into this tail. Things could get a bit ugly. We still do technically have this M valid working away here. So I'm going to risk against this W. Just nice and tight and polite. And if we get that 50% bounce, now I'm looking at the better part of like a 3-to-1 risk reward. That's not a bad trade. No guarantees. No assurances whatsoever that this is going to work. Not really predicting the future. If anything, what I'm saying, my prediction is either one of two things happens. Either that happens or that happens. If this scenario happens, then I'm going to lose a buck. And actually, I put like 3 G's into this trade. Not a hell of a lot of money, but enough. Hey, now we're up to 5. How does that work? That's funny. If this scenario works and I get my 50% bounce, then I make, 2.9 to 1. Not bad. I could see, to be perfectly honest with you, I could see that this is going to take a little bit of time to develop. I could see. But I love W so much, I'll just go and buy it. I don't have a problem taking that risk, and I'm more than happy. If 2 or 3 days from now this thing breaks through that low, I'm more than happy to come to you and say, oh, I was wrong. I'm out of here. It's just what I do. Did a little shitcoin buying. Remember I told you, I think in tweets that, if we are at or below reload zones, I got to buy. And actually the shitcoin that I bought today was so typical Brian. So typical Brian. Where are we here? I took this range. And this is remember this, I'm running several different portfolios. So that Litecoin trade, I would consider that a half decent quality trade. Litecoin, it's Charlie. Not a shitcoin. There are other people. Kevin's got a friend of his. He told me today that he considers Litecoin a shitcoin. Well, it's what makes a horse race. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But what I would consider a shitcoin, because these guys are still in the doghouse, as far as I'm concerned, is Pivx. Hopefully you see. That Beamish guy, he kind of likes his 78.6s, candle body lows, original market structure bottom. I got filled there. You can actually see that's me right there. Right down there. Not a bad trade. No idea if this is going to work. Not predicting the future. What I am saying, though, is that usually, and let's assume in this case that we have to come all the way right back down to this bottom. Could totally happen. Hell, maybe we even go a little bit lower. Who knows? But the statistical odds of this market coming back to this 50% rule actually extremely high. Interestingly enough, the odds of the market coming back to reload short zones, basically up against this wick, into this wick, right? All these highs, horizontal support and resistance. That's about 70 to 80% statistical odds that we come back up into here. 70 to 80%. That's a pretty big number. So that's the sort of prediction game that I'm getting into. And I know that statistically, if I come in and force myself to buy at the bottom ends of ranges, there's about a 70 to 80% chance that this thing's going to rally back up to the top end of the range. I would actually probably say that there's I know it sounds crazy, but like maybe 80, 90% chance that we get up into 50% rules. And interestingly enough, even from where I bought today at like 1840, that's almost exactly a double. Just back to the 50% rule. And that's just coming into these highs. You know for certain. I've got open orders working. 18, so that's 36. To sell half on a double. If we get a rally up into these wicks at any time over the next 6 to 8 months, actually really for a guy like me over the next 3 to 5 years, I'm not in any hurry. I couldn't give a fuck. If it took 3 years to double my money, who can tell me what the annual rate of return on your investment is? It's a hell of a lot more than you're getting on any mutual fund. That's for damn sure. So that's the kind of stuff that if I was going to buy shitcoins, I'm in there doing that. If I want to trade, then I want to see some crisp price action, please. I like this. It's not bad. I mean, I would say odds-wise, if we could close out above this level on the day, the statistical odds of this thing working go way up. As it stands right now, it's kind of floundering in here. I took the chance. I'm willing to risk that little W down in there. I'd probably give the odds of this thing at maybe 60, maybe 65%. 65% to make better than almost a 3-to-1 on your money? You should take that trade every fucking day of the week. Anyway, it's trader's life. So, crypto enjoying a nice bounce off the bottom, especially within that massively negative sentiment there. I think a lot of people, I do a show on Wednesdays. Crypto Top 100 seems to be relatively well received. Had a 3 partners that I did the show with, and one of the partners was very worried about Nick. Was very worried about what Mr. Biden might say here heading into this G7 and about crypto. I didn't hear a single word about crypto. All I heard was, we got to really buckle down on this China. This character's getting out of control here. Do we really need another Hitler? And we're going to have to go and fucking see 40, 50 million people die to try and get the situation under control. I would actually suggest it's in the West's best interest. Get on top of this problem sooner rather than later. Don't do the Neville Chamberlain peace in our time pussy fucking route. Mr. Biden, go and drive 2 or 3 big-ass fucking nuclear aircraft carriers right into the South China Sea and say, this is now an open, free seaway. Fuck you, Winnie. You want to do something about it? Let's dance. That's Brian Hothead talking. I doubt that calmer heads that are prevailing will go that route. And it's probably better that they don't. But that's my attitude. 2 Michaels. Every goddamn time we talk about China, I say 2 Michaels. And I will keep saying the same fucking phrase over and over again, just in case you have forgotten. There are 2 Canadian citizens being held illegally, kangaroo court, in horrible conditions, living what we would consider, if the conditions that they were living in right now, if they were in a North American prison living in those conditions, they would be subject to inhumane treatment by the state. But in China, who gives a fuck? Fuck you, Winnie. Fuck you. Give our citizens back, please. Thank you very much. Let's just stop doing business with these fucking totalitarian dictators. Sick of this. There you go, Google. You're going to love that one. 2 Michaels. It's as simple as that, folks. 2 Michaels. All right. Rant. So, G7. Maybe the United States under Biden's getting a backbone. I do like the idea that they're going to want to knock the stock market down. You can see the banks are already coming off. Is this sort of a chicken and egg thing? Maybe we're going to shit on China. China will be forced to do something. It'll knock the market down. The bankers get their wish. The politicians in the state freaking out. And maybe they even go, we got to pass this stimulus package so we can stick it to the Chinese. Who knows? But I can see that you can see all of the pieces, all the cards are sort of falling into place here. And honestly, I don't really mind the idea of actually thinking about Bitcoin and crypto as bottoming. Like, I don't see the rhetoric coming out of the adults to actually put the kibosh on Bitcoin. The rhetoric I see is climate, COVID, China. Actually, the 3 C's. And crypto didn't get included in those 3 C's. So go figure. That's a bullish looking momentum here. That's not bearish. The only thing that's sort of missing here is you'd like to see a nice big volume breakout here. So if you all could go and buy, what's that number? 8.5 thousand coins here. This is on a daily basis. That's an awfully small number, isn't it? Is that right? Oh, it is. Oh, son of a gun. We only need to buy 8,000 Bitcoins here on the day, and we've already bought 5.3. So you only need to see another 3,000 Bitcoins bought on the day, and that's going to give you a monstrous volume breakout signal. That's fascinating that volumes are so low here. Also, too, I think this is a great testament to that absolute idiot that came on the channel and was like, Bitcoin's going to zero. Why were you not saying that here, you stupid fuck? Why are you waiting to say that here? That's just, that to me screams that guy was a paid, he was paid to do that, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. So I look at this image, that's tough. Until these indicators actually start rolling over and start emming out, that's tough to get bearish in the face of that. Be careful, bears. You might just get your fucking ass handed to you here. I don't know. Anything else? I think that's probably it. Interesting to see how the gold kind of wavering here. Look how close that prognostication is. If we go and M out here and start crapping out, man, I'll start thinking I should start paying more close attention to my squiggly line theories. Bonds, kind of wavering. I still think this is being finessed by the Fed. This price action looks very choppy. They did say that they were going to support the market, so to a certain degree that is sort of on theme. I just feel as though that this cycle, I think, has now fully turned, and if we do lose these lows, that's going to be big head and shoulders kind of failures. And you've heard me squawking lots about how I think the interest rate market has turned. And actually the one real cool thing to sort of validate that yes, the economy has turned, we should expect higher interest rates, we should expect more growth, is the gold-silver ratio. Which is, this is one of these sort of uncorrelated market proxies that really helps in seeing sort of the forest through the trees. This is more anecdotal evidence. This is the Dow, and actually Kevin asked me to make reference to this, so I'm glad we got to this. This is the Dow theory model. So again, if we're thinking the banksters need to have the politicians freaked out into this vote to pass the stimulus, pass more bailout, pass more money, free money, free money, free money, well, they got to have the stock market come down. I showed you the Canadian banks. I showed you some of the U.S. banks. They look very heavy, and I think that they are bringing the market down. Here's another anecdote that's basically a bring the market down anecdote. This is the Dow Industrials in blue, or teal, or whatever that color is, and the transports in yellow. Transports have actually gone and M'd out here and made a new low, whereas the industrials actually made a new high here. And did they make a new high? 34,777, 34,760. So not a new clothesline high. How about candles? Nope, not even a new candle high. So I'm not going to really say it's the best Dow theory sell signal. What I'll just simply say is that, as a trader, you should have been skeptical of the Dow pushing up to new highs here. It didn't actually break to new highs. If we did actually see it get up to new highs, then we'd be like, holy shit, Dow theory sell signal. It didn't quite get to new highs, but what we should respect from this message is that the transports are not happy at all. So it's very difficult for the industrial part of the economy to validate that it is indeed growing and earnings are growing and we're doing more business through price action if the transports who actually ship all the stuff made by the economy, so a great proxy on economic activity, if the transports are breaking down. So it looks like the industrials are kind of like, whoa, there's no fucking way we can rally with this look. And that's sort of what I think's going on here. And I think this is a play on the bankers need the U.S. politicians to freak out because that big vote is coming up at the end of the month. So they've basically got 2 weeks to get this stock market down. Get these public freaking out. Get them to call their politicians, please pass the stimmy. We need more help. We need more help. Because I'll tell you, if the stock market is really, really strong and up near new highs, there's no way the politicians are going to pass that stimmy. So I think that's what's going on. And to a certain degree, you might argue that one of the levers to get the stock market to come down is let's go piss off Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is now going to come out in some sort of retaliatory statement. We're going, and this plays perfectly into this short trade. Winnie says, we are going to punish you in the West for having the audacity to criticize us. We're going to hold back $100 billion gazillion dollars in state-sponsored funding to these silly Canadian real estate developers, and so fucking what if you go bankrupt? I could see that. The market would collapse. We'll have a new state enemy. Everybody will hate China for the next 10, 20 years. And the U.S. banksters get the politicians to freak out, and they might actually even say, we have to pass this stimulus package or else China's going to destroy us. Who knows? You never know. So put all the pieces together. I kind of like this trade. It makes sense. And I think I told you I'm long the puts here. So we'll see how this goes. Once we get into that end of month scenario, then I'd actually be looking for the stock market to bottom. And we'll go through our normal sort of seasonal summer silly season that we have in stock markets. And I got a funny feeling, folks. Notice that crypto's perfectly fine through here. It's not shitting, right? Crypto was in trouble there because it got a little ahead of itself in that Coinbase IPO. And remember that stupid idiot fucking Allen coming out and pumping up that Dogecoin. A word of warning to you. Anybody who wears a toupee, I never ever trust anybody who wears a toupee. If they're going to lie to you about their hairline and not be an open book about their hairline, then why wouldn't they lie to you about finances? Why wouldn't they lie to you about money? So I think actually the Doge story has gone very much the way Allen's hairline has gone. Kind of bullshit. As I had said there earlier, Coinbase, I think, there's too much concentration in the marketplace on this IPO, and it was a massive financing. But that's not that market. If anything, look at what's happening now. This, to me, looks like it's trying to double you out. And, full disclosure, I have bids in here at like 220. And the sons of bitches, right? They must have heard me talking on social media. Who knows? But I find it hilarious that we have bids working down in the reload zone here. In fact, actually, I think I split it and just went right on the sweet spot of the reload zone. And they would not fill me on Friday, the bastards. So I have my bid here at 220, and look, they brought it down 221.47. Sorry, Brian. Break it down 240, 224. Sorry, Brian. And then woohoo, heading the other direction. That's not a bear market. What planet are you from? That, ironically enough, you know what this is? This is actually a 2-bar setup. I'll leave it open in the comments. Let's see if you watchers, any alumni watching this video should know what this 2-bar setup is. So let's see if anybody's actually watching and paying attention. I'll give you an affirmative or a negative if you can identify what this 2-bar setup is, what we call it at TRI, and is it bullish or bearish? And clearly the answer is, I'll give you the answer right away. If we finish here today and we trade through 239.76 tomorrow, that becomes just the most biggest fucking buy signal you're gonna see. So look at fucking Sailor. I mean, look at that. What letter of the alphabet is that? And I think you can see the squiggly lines. I think I even mentioned this on the video yesterday. Because this W actually fired last week. You can't even tell me that you couldn't have gotten in on this trade. And then there's some fucking idiot on the weekends going, oh, Bitcoin and crypto is going to zero. He said that to get you to go, oh, fuck, I don't want to buy it. It's going to zero. Look at this guy on social media. He was a paid fucking shill, cocksucking son of a bitch. That's what that guy is. And look at that fucking rally. Up $80 on the morning? Jesus Christ. It just goes to show, man, when they take these bear markets back, they can take them back in a heartbeat. And the funny thing is what do you think the odds are that W just so happened to come in on a reload zone? I'd say pretty damn good. Let's see. Survey says, boom! One reload zone. Mic drop. We're done. Have yourselves a great day. BMA for the win. And bye for now.